and welcome to Let's Talk About Meh. It's me, I'm your host David Hobbs, stuck in the furthest point of the Highlands and locked in this room talking about anything and everything that takes my fancy. I did have another video planned for today, but due to the news that was released last night, I felt like this is something I want to talk about. What the hell is going on with the gaming industry? Like, what is going on with it? It is insane to me, the decline in the past 5 years. There was a bit of a decline as we were going through the end of the 2010s, but it's been so much of a dip from corporate greed, DLC practices, monetization, microtransactions, ever since 2020 onwards, the year of losing 2 years of our lives. Everything just seems to have gotten considerably worse, from poor, and I mean piss poor quality control, to unfinished games being released back in ye olde day, again in the 2010s, which is so long ago now. But do we remember online passkeys, where if you bought a game secondhand, they wanted you to download a key essentially so you could play the online component? We had trends where it was forced co-op. Dead Space 3, looking at you. Did not need that co-op, made no sense. But it's got so much worse. The video game industry is now officially taking in more money than any other form of entertainment. The bonuses that these CEOs get are mental. We're talking tens of millions. And the CEOs, funnily enough, tend to keep their jobs. But what's happening right now is never ever in the history of gaming happened. Is developers and studios, the mass layoffs are shocking. And the amount of layoffs are unbelievable. I still can't wrap my head on it. So I'm going to read something to you, and it's just a generalization and a summary of what's happened in the last 5 years in the gaming industry. And when I read this, I want you to remember, when I'm saying numbers, put faces to those numbers. Realize that those numbers are people that rely on this job to live for money. Being in game development is not an easy job. You have to be creative. It's technically difficult. The working conditions are absolutely horrendous. If you're into video games or you fall into this, crunch was a big buzzword for a while. And that was basically forcing developers to work for sometimes 18 hours a day. I mean, some were working almost 24 hours a day. Some have even sadly taken their lives over the amount of stress that they were under. Not only that, but we now know that such companies as Activision Blizzard and Ubisoft have committed horrendous work conditions, from sexual assault to bullying, which again has forced people to lose their lives. There doesn't seem to be any control over the gaming industry. It's all big money, and I think it just developed so fast that government legislation didn't catch up with. We still don't have proper government legislation over loot boxes in the UK, whereas Germany were very smart and banned them outright. So yeah, let's read this summary. My eyes may be slightly off camera because I'm reading on a different screen. The last 5 years have been a turbulent period for the gaming industry, marked by significant studio closures, numerous game cancellations, widespread layoffs, and ongoing concerns about business practices. Here's a summary. Total job losses approximate within the last 5 years. It's difficult to get a precise, universally agreed upon total, as layoffs are often announced by individual companies and don't always accumulate into a public unified figure. However, estimates suggest the number is well into the tens of thousands. 2023, at least 6,000 jobs were terminated across the industry. 2024, over 10,000 jobs were announced by early 2024, with some reports indicating 41% of developers were affected by layoffs throughout the year. 2025 to date, Microsoft alone announced 9,000 layoffs in its gaming division, with other companies also continuing to cut staff. Considering the continuous nature of layoffs since 2022, a conservative estimate for total job losses within the last 5 years would likely be over 20,000 to 30,000 people, and potentially significantly higher when accounting for smaller, unpublicized cuts and the cumulative effect over the entire period. Notable studio closures. The past 5 years have seen the demise of many established and promising studios, often after significant acquisitions or corporate restructuring. Microsoft gaming subsidiaries. The Initiative, which was shut down last night, closed entirely following the cancellation of the Perfect Dark reboot. Arcane Austin closed, known for Redfall, no surprise. Tango Gameworks closed, known for Hi-Fi Rush, an awesome game. The Evil Within. Alpha Dog Games closed. King. Stockholm Division, significant workforce reduction, approximate 200 positions. Turn 10 Studios, Forza Motorsport, over 70 job cuts. ZeniMax Online Studios, unannounced project was cancelled, leading to more layoffs. Sledgehammer Games, Halo Studios, Raven Software all saw job cuts. Sony Interactive Entertainment, London studio closed, known for Blood and Truth. Pixelopus closed, San Mateo studio laid off staff. Embracer Group, widespread restructuring. Volition closed, known for Saints Row. CAC. Multiple unannounced projects and studios affected by widespread layoffs and divestitures. Don't know my English. Ubisoft UK studio Leamington closed. Warner Brothers Games, Monolith Productions reportedly closed, though some sources indicate layoffs rather than full closure. It was closed. With Wonder Woman games still in development by a new team. No, that's old news. They are closed and they are gone. So is the Nemesis system. Player First Games reportedly closed. Warner Brothers San Diego reportedly closed. Others, Ready at Dawn, Meta owned. Riot Forge, Riot Games publishing label for indie titles. Phoenix Labs, majority workforce laid off. Bend Studio, contractor cuts following game cancellation. Striking Distance Studios, the Callisto Protocol developer, CAC. Studio Fizbin, Toadman Interactive, Counterplay Games. Cancelled games and notable examples, many high-profile and anticipated titles, including live service games, were cancelled due to various factors like strategic shifts, underperformance, or studio closures. Microsoft Xbox. Perfect Dark reboot by The Initiative, Everwild by Rare, Untitled ZeniMax Online Studios project, Untitled live service game by Bend Studio, unannounced God of War live service game, I didn't want that, by Bluepoint Games. Sony PlayStation, The Last of Us Online, I would have killed for that because the multiplayer was amazing on The Last of Us. Untitled live service game by London Studio, Blizzard Entertainment, Project Odyssey, which was a new survival game, Square Enix, unannounced Deus Ex game, more Deus Ex, Electronic Arts, Battlefield Mobile, Industrial Toys, Untitled Star Wars first-person shooter game, guarantee that was Battlefield 3, Untitled Titanfall extraction shooter, anything Titanfall would have been amazing, Untitled video game by Respawn Entertainment, Ubisoft, Tom Clancy's The Division, Heartland, Red Storm Entertainment, Bungie, Project Payback, Monolith Productions, Wonder Woman video game. That would have been awful anyway, because I don't know how the Nemesis system was supposed to work in a Wonder Woman game. Cliffhanger Games, Untitled Black Panther game. How do you mess up Black Panther? Bad business practices. Several recurring bad business practices have come under scrutiny and contributed to the industry's instability and negative public perception. So yeah, you get what I'm saying. It's just been constant. And yesterday when Microsoft just out of nowhere announces 9,000 jobs laid off, multiple games, high profile games that gamers have been waiting for a long time, shut. What is going on? Hundreds of thousands of jobs in the last 5 years from different studios have been shut down. And I'll tell you why. And it's not conjecture. It's not opinion. It's fact. It's game companies being run from the top with bad management and focusing on big money and pleasing shareholders. I will quote somebody that's very, very, very clever, and I'm a huge fan of them, so yeah, I'm fanboying. Stephanie Sterling. And Stephanie Sterling every Monday on YouTube releases the Jimquisition. And Stephanie Sterling has covered games for well over 10 years. I used to enjoy their work when they worked at Destructoid reviewing games. But Stephanie Sterling has a saying, and it is the truest saying when it comes to the video game industry. If not, it's beginning to bleed over into any industry that involves big money and corporations. Shareholders and corporations don't want a lot of money. They want all the money. And that doesn't work. Perpetual growth is a myth. At some point, business needs to peter off because it's growing all the time is not going to work. You grow to a certain point and then that's it. Then you maintain and then wait for technological advances. Wait for the next big step in generations. And then you just have a little bump again. More money will come in, but then it'll peter off again. Perpetual growth is an illusion, and companies quite often report more and more profits by laying off staff, but yet the heads at the top keep their jobs and get themselves some massive bonuses. I remember when video games to me were exciting, when you knew a new video game was coming out and you were like, oh wow, look at these new mechanics. The best example I can give of that, remember destructive environments? So if we go back to the PS3, Battlefield Bad Company 2, do you remember the destructive environments in that? Were amazing. Then we had an escalation with Battlefield 3, I believe, where entire buildings were coming down. There was a map where at a certain point you could take down an entire skyscraper. Where's all that gone? Where's the innovation? Games like that were just fun, like Prototype 1 and 2. I remember playing the first Prototype and I was like, this feels, don't get me wrong, it was a bit of a disappointment towards the end story-wise, but I remember playing that and I was like, this is something new, this is different. Where are these games that give you a feeling of a power trip? Where are my motherfucking cheat codes? Where have they gone? Cheat codes are long gone. I remember when cheat codes died, and it was Saints Row 3 on the PlayStation 3 in particular, because God mode was no longer a cheat code. God mode was a downloadable content. Cheats became downloadable content. It just seems more and more, obviously, with the rise of live service games, that they want engagement and they want your money, and it's just killed the creativity. It's been a long time since I played a video game that I was massively excited for, and I wasn't either disappointed, let down, or just completely lied to and ended up with an utter piece of crap. I've been a gamer my whole life. I've had everything from Commodore 64s, Ataris, your PlayStations, Mega Drives, SNES, Nintendo, Master Systems, everything. And right now, a lot of the time, I have to force myself to sit down and play a game. And a lot of times, it's not a game that's engaging me, it's a game where I'm just turning my brain off just so I can relax for a little bit. But it's mind-numbing grind. In particular, at this moment, I'm mind-numbingly grinding through Ghost Recon Breakpoint, which is not a great game, but I can turn off and just run a bit of map and shoot something. And that shouldn't be the case. It should be something that's engaging to me. It should be something that a lot of art went into and a lot of thought went into. Because I've been on the Resident Evil kick, I've been playing the old Resident Evils. I've been enjoying them far more than anything that I've played recently. The state of gaming is really upsetting right now. Don't get me wrong, there are gems out there, there are exceptions to the rule, like God of War, single player narrative games that a lot of effort have gone into. I was late to God of War 2018, and I think I played that maybe 2 years ago when I finally got to it. And when I played that, I got that buzz of like, holy crap, this feels next gen. It looks next gen. It plays differently from anything I've played before, and it told a great story. I believe Death Stranding 2 recently came out, and that's been getting a lot of that kind of like, this is something innovative, it looks amazing, and it's doing its own thing. Hideo Kojima does his own thing anyway, that man's on another planet. Only thing that I am mildly excited for is a game that still isn't anywhere near finished. I've completely forgotten the name of it, so fantastically professional as usual, Dave. It's the next game by Hello Games that did No Man's Sky. And again, I kind of feel like I'm going to be duped when it comes out, because No Man's Sky obviously had a really bad release, but look at everything they've done for free, and all the expansions for free they've handed out. It's massive. It's become more than what it promised. But it shouldn't be the case that what you get at the beginning and expect your audience to stay with it. I could go on and on about this, but last night Xbox announced 9,000 layoffs. We've now had hundreds of thousands of layoffs. It's not fair. And it's not fair to the boots on the ground and the people creating it, which is the developers. It's piss poor management. Money, money, money. So yeah, I'll finish up by just once again quoting Stephanie Sterling. Video game companies don't want a lot of money. They want all the money. And funnily enough, we don't have a lot of money. Do you know what? Before I actually sign off, that's just made me realise. 80 quid for video games now. 80 quid. Who's making this decision? What is going on? I am not paying 80 quid for a video game. In fact, I'm actively looking now to get into a realm of video gaming that I have never been into, which is PC gaming. I know I'll call myself a gamer and I'm not part of the master race, but I'm looking more into PC gaming because the ecosystem, especially within Steam, is just so much better. The prices, the offers, the refund deals. And when I did PC game for a brief while back in the early 2000s, so it wasn't exactly a high bit of kit. Mods, I love mods. I think the fact that you can allow your consumers to mod and tinker around with it, add bits, you get so much more out of what you've paid for. So yeah, just gaming is just not good right now, and it depresses me so much. It enrages me so much. So yeah, before I go off on another tangent, let me know in the comments what your experiences are with modern gaming. How do you feel about it? What's your memories of it from what it is then to what it is now? Let's get a dialogue going. Let's get a conversation going. You can email me or message me. Descriptions are below. And yeah, take care of yourselves. Don't buy $80 games and £80 games, please. Don't. Peace.